Welcome to our mini episode of You Can't Get to Heaven in a Mini Skirt. My name is Jessica.
And my name is Sarah.
And if you'd like to find us on social media, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Heaven in a Miniskirt. And you can go to our website at heaveninaminiskirt.com. So this is our first bonus mini episode, or mini-sode, as we'll probably call it. And what are we going to talk about today, Sarah? You have an interesting topic.
It's like pretty weird. I don't know who will have actually heard of this. I feel like you have to be pretty deep into the Christian world to know what the Nephilim are. So it's the Nephilim.
The Nephilim.
When I told you about them, you lost your shit laughing. You're like, that's a thing?
First of all, I couldn't even understand what you were saying. I was like, Nephilim? I just could not understand what you were saying to me. And then you told me what they were, and I was like, I cannot comprehend what's happening. So I hope that our listeners can also be as confused as I was.
So the Nephilim it's very interesting. So the word Nephilim is only used twice in the Bible. It's used in Genesis 6, 1-6, and in Numbers 13:33.
So the Old Testament.
Yeah, Old Testament. And people have a really hard time agreeing on what they actually are. They're just one of those things that a lot of people gloss over because this is just some weird shit. So I'll read to you Genesis 6:4 that describes the Nephilim. So Genesis 6:4. The Nephilim were on earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of man, and they bore children to them. These were the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown.
What?
So basically, they said the sons of God, whatever that means, came down and had children with the daughters of men, and these are the people that are talked about as heroes throughout history.
Oh, so it's kind of like demigods.
Yeah, kind of like demigods.
Oh, what?
Yeah. And so then it's also found in Numbers 13:33, which says, we saw the Nephilim there. The descendants of Anak come from the Nephilim. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. So they basically saw us like we were grasshoppers because they're giants. And so sometimes in biblical translations, they're referred to as giants. Other times they are referred to as Nephilim. The Nephilim, the word in Hebrew, nephal, means to fall. And so it's often translated as Nephilim, which means the fallen ones. So there are 4 different main theories within Christianity and within Judaism to explain who the heck these people are. So the 4 main theories. Number 1 is the view that they are fallen angels who had sex with daughters of men, so human women, which resulted in part human, part supernatural being, the Nephilim. So theory number 1. That's the one that when I learned about the Nephilim, that was the one that I had heard about. Fallen angels having sex with women, and then the Nephilim.
What's a fallen angel? Is that the same as a demon?
That's the same as a demon, essentially.
So the demons are having sex with women, and they're creating demonic demigods, I guess?
Kind of like demigods, half these supernatural giant beings.
Okay.
And then the second position held by some is that demons or fallen angels were possessing men who were then having sex with women, resulting in the Nephilim. So it was demon possession.
Okay.
And then the third position is called the Sethite view, which is that the sons of God are the righteous line. So they would be directly descendant from Adam and Eve's son Seth.
Adam and Eve had a son named Seth?
Oh yeah, we're going to get into it. I'm going to get into each of these individual views. And the last view, which is held by the minority people, is that sons of God are simply fallen men. So theory number 1 is, again, the view that is probably one of the most popular today, and it's that the Nephilim were offspring of fallen angels and human women. And so the evidence for this, supporters of this theory turn to Job. We've talked about Job. And Job 1:6 says, now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. So that's where fallen angels are referred to as the sons of God.
Okay, yep, because the devil approached God. But when I talked about the story of Job, I didn't mention the rest. I was just Cole's noting the fucking story.
And then there's also another main passage that's used to defend this view. It's Jude 1:6-7. And it says, and the angels that did not keep their proper domain, but left their own abode, he has reserved in everlasting chains under darkness for the judgment of the great day, as Sodom and Gomorrah, and the cities around them, in a similar manner, having given themselves over to sexual immorality and gone after strange flesh are set forth as an example suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Then the pushback. Whew. The whole pushback on this theory is DNA. Angels, supernatural beings, don't have the DNA to combine with humans.
Wow.
So how can they...
Really? I can't believe it.
How can they produce offspring, right?
Yeah. Why is logic entering this situation? I've never seen it happen before in Christianity, so I don't know why it's happening now.
Some would argue that it's possible because angels can take human form, but do they really carry full reproductive abilities? We have no proof of this. But the Holy Spirit was able to impregnate Mary, so I don't know.
Wow.
Opposition to the opposition. So that's view number one. That was the one that I was kind of privy to growing up. And then we had the view about the Sethite view. So this was the view that the Nephilim were from the lineage of Seth. And this is like also a very popular view today. So
Seth is the son of Adam and Eve?
Yeah.
Who's Cain and Abel then?
Oh, they were like the first ones. Seth came after.
Oh, so they have just multiple children. Got it.
Yeah. They had lots of children.
Seth. Of course his name is Seth.
I know. It's like what?
It's like Chad.
I know. And so basically,
oh, God.
Sons of God is defined as Seth.
So was Seth like a weirdo or something? Like, is he like abnormally large? I don't understand. Does he have powers?
Well, he is referred to as like a son of God because he was Adam's son. So he was coming from like a pure line. But then Seth went after women who rejected God and followed other gods. And so he fell away. I don't really get this theory. It doesn't seem that great.
Okay. They were just like, it's his bloodline. That's basically... Oh.
Yeah, it's his bloodline, so...
That's not as fun.
I know, and the thing is, like, who did Seth go and have sex with? Because we know there was Adam and Eve, but there's some Christians, it's like, was it one of his sisters?
Because there's no one else there.
No, but there are, but like it mentions other people in Genesis. They're like, Seth went away and like had met this woman who didn't believe in God or didn't believe in the true God. Where did these people come from?
My brain is in a fucking pretzel. Like, what? Yeah,
So some people say that, like, there were other people that were created that weren't, like Adam and Eve weren't, like, the only ones. So I don't know. I think what happens is, like, things just get really problematic once, like, we know more and more about science and reproduction. And
once we start thinking and questioning, that's when things start to really fall apart, right?
Exactly.
And that's why religions don't want you to ask questions.
Yes. That's why you don't want to be a doubting Thomas, as we have already discussed. So number 3 would be that human children are possessed by fallen angels. So the demons possess them. And basically, this is not a very popular view because there's no scriptural support for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Then it's interesting because another big question that comes up sometimes is like, why are the Nephilim on Earth after the flood? Because God killed everyone, right? But then the Nephilim just show up in Numbers 13:33.
Okay, so then, like, obviously Genesis, Exodus, whatever, that's all in linear timeline order. Is that what we're saying here?
Yeah.
And then when did Noah happen? Exodus?
So no, in Genesis.
Well, the Nephilim obviously are supernatural, so they can survive the flood. Maybe they can breathe underwater, Sarah. Maybe that's what their supernatural ability is.
Maybe they're mermaids. Maybe that's theory number 5.
Oh my god, we should add to the theories. Okay, now we have a theory about Nephilim. They could be mermaids because they're half human and then like half supernatural. They could be half fish. Maybe the son of God, maybe that's actually referring to just fish, Jesus fish. There's fish.
Make you fishers of men? Ooh.
Yeah, I'm putting it all together. I'm putting it all together here.
Yeah.
Mermaids. They're real. Okay.
That's one way of viewing it. So some of the answers to this question, like why would there be Nephilim on Earth after the flood? And so they were giants and fallen angels kept coming to Earth afterwards and reproduced with women after the floods.
Well, I mean, it may be, like, if I'm actually going to logically argue this, Nephilim after the flood, maybe the fallen angels just came down and had sex with Noah's descendants after that.
Yeah.
And then more Nephilim were made. Could have been new Nephilim, maybe not the old Nephilim. I don't know. And
I've heard that, like, I remember when I was growing up, people saying that Goliath was, like, one of the Nephilim because he was a giant. Mm-hmm. But there's not, like...
That's my next question, yeah.
Yeah, so there's not, like, much proof of that.
But, like, is there any other giants talked about in the Bible except for Goliath? Maybe it was just a really tall guy. How tall is Goliath supposed to be?
So the Bible described many individuals as giants, and guesses range anywhere from 6 to more than 30 feet in height.
Okay. That's a huge scale there. Like, what?
Yeah.
So they could just be like 6'5", or they could be 25 feet tall. It's hard to say.
So in Genesis 14, they mentioned some giants named Rephaim and Zuzim and Emim that were killed. So there were those giants. And then there were the Amorites mentioned, who were also supposedly like descendants of giants, or also like giants. And so it says in Amos 2, 9-10, "Yet it was I who destroyed the Amorite before them, whose height was like the height of the cedars, and he was strong as the oaks. Yet I destroyed his fruit and his roots beneath." Then there's one mentioned in Deuteronomy named Emim again, and then so Zuzim and Emim and Rephaim and the Nephilim and the Anakim. There's all kinds of giants. Goliath.
So when we started recording this, I assumed that Goliath was also a Nephilim. So that's just a theory that giants are Nephilim. We don't actually have an answer.
So some people think they are, some people think they aren't. Okay, so now we are going to delve into TikTok to see what they have to say about the Nephilim.
I can't believe there's actually TikToks about this.
Did you know that the Nephilim were also present at the crucifixion of Jesus Christ? Look, if you're a Christian, I'm about to give you a revelation for the rest of your life. And if you don't know what the Nephilim are and you're a Christian, well, may God help you, because that is something that you should know. And that's found in the book of Genesis chapter 6. Obviously, it's the angels went into the daughters of men, created a hybrid race, and that's why God sent the flood, because he was preserving the bloodline. The entire world was corrupt. Noah was the only one which wasn't corrupt, and that's why the Old Testament is just God preserving the bloodline in order to bring Jesus Christ through. If you want to know what the Nephilim are, go study them. But now, present in the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, because the devil also has his own children. I don't want to get into that, but obviously in the book of Genesis, he says, "I put enmity between thy seed and the woman's seed." Woman doesn't have sperm in the Greek, it's sperma. Men have sperm, so I would put enmity between Jesus and the devil's children. Right? That's why when Jesus was confronting the Pharisees and the Sadducees, he said, "Ye do..."
I like how the first comment on this is fantastic. It says, "Landed in conspiracy Christian TikTok."
He has 1.4 million. Oh my God. 1.4 million people. Okay.
Wow, that was a lot. The confidence that this man has, and he's clearly out of his fucking mind, that's kind of the most interesting part of the video.
Okay, so I'm just gonna see if there are any other good Nephilim ones. That was pretty good.
Who's the girl in the middle? We should play her. Who's this?
I did a video about the Book of Enoch, the fallen angels, the Watchers, the Nephilim, the giants that were created when these angels fell madly in love and became obsessed with human women and their beauty, took them as wives and laid with them, creating these children, the Nephilim, the breed of the giants that stood 450 feet tall.
That is so tall. How tall is that? That is so tall.
Okay, we've heard 6 feet, 6'5", 30 feet, 450 feet. Like, that's really, really, really fucking tall.
Okay. This girl's great. I love her.
Okay. Okay.
And to devour all of man's sustainable natural resources. And once they got tired of that, they began devouring man. And once they grew weary of that, they began to turn on each other, devouring one another and drinking the blood. As punishment, 4 angels were cast under the great Euphrates River.
Is this in the Bible?
So this is in the Book of Enoch, which was not included in the biblical canon, but it actually is. It's quoted in the New Testament. Oh. So some people think it should be scripture anyway. She is maybe one of them.
Okay.
There's a video circulating of D-word cries and even chains rattling coming from dried areas of the Euphrates River. I've had a lot of my followers ask if I could share that video, and so I'm doing this now. There are a lot of fake things out there on the internet, but I'm here to tell you, I don't think this is one of them. Watch for yourself.
Oh, God.
Are they crying for help? You can hear the chains rattling below.
I hope it comes out and just kills us all. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Sounds like a goat giving birth or something.
It does, actually.
Or me giving birth.
Yeah.
Did somebody just capture evidence and proof of the 4 fallen angels bound beneath the Euphrates River? The river that is said to be drying up.
Sarah was so dumb. Oh my god.
So I think this is like enough Nephilim for the rest of my life. But it's like you can go deeper on the internet, and there's people that think like the Nephilim and like reptilians and the Anunnaki and like aliens.
Oh, so we're kind of starting to border on like lizard people territory here.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, very unsurprising.
But on my For You tube, lizard people started coming up, and I was like, oh my god. I need to get back on lesbian TikTok.
No, I like how like I think my favorite thing of just like having our TikTok for the podcast is that we watch so much Christian content that it starts to border on conspiracy theory content and anti-vax content, and you're like, huh, it's interesting that that's all connected.
I know, the algorithm knows.
Nephilim is now connected to lizard people. Okay, cool.
I know.
Wow. Okay, yeah, we're in real conspiracy theory territory here. You know, I am not sure what the fuck is going on right now. Oh my god.
This all makes like Sean McDowell look very normal.
Yeah, actually, after watching those videos, I'm like, where's Sean McDowell talking about Nephilim? Because, but it's true, like, watching Sean McDowell, who's kind of a problematic person, but then you get into, like, this Nephilim conspiracy theory lizard people territory, and you're just like, okay, we're starting to go just from, like, problematic to just completely unhinged. We're not living the same reality. Like, at least me and Sean McDowell are, like, somewhat living on the same earth.
Yeah.
Even though we don't have the same beliefs, at least we can agree on some things. That, like, there's no lizard people, maybe?
Yeah, that's a good start. So, what's the point of today's episode? Nothing other than, like...
There's weird shit in the Bible.
There's weird shit in the Bible. There's also, like, weird beasts and monsters that it mentions, too. We'll get into that another time.
But this was really interesting. I think that a lot of people don't know, like, the weird stuff that's in the Bible, so that was kind of fun to, like, go down that weird rabbit hole.
I think the weird part is, like, I feel like most Christians just kind of, like, either don't know what the Nephilim are, or they kind of gloss over. They're like, well, that's, like, a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have, like, the people that are like, the Nephilim are here, and...
They're gonna kill 1/3 of humanity. Look, they're in chains in this river. Like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, listen to the sounds. I'm like, that, it's so easy to, like...
A lot of people create a lot of videos. Technology is very advanced these days. It, like, her eyes looked dead. Like, she looked dead in the eyes. And, okay.
Yeah, so...
Maybe she's a Nephilim.
Who knows? Maybe she's trying to make it seem not legit because it is a thing, and they're trying to trick us so we don't think it's a thing.
That's actually a really good theory.
Yeah. Can we do the next mini episode on if Jesus was an alien? Because there's a whole theory for that.
Okay.
You're just gonna learn how much weird shit is in my brain.
Our mini-sodes are just like weird conspiracy theories that Sarah comes across. Okay, it's on the list. It's fine. Okay, wow, that was fun, and I'm like severely sad. Not sad.
Don't be sad. You're not supposed to be sad this time.
I know, I'm not sad. I can't believe this is real. I can't believe it.
It's not
I can
real.
believe it, but I can't.
It's not real.
No, sorry. I can't believe that this content is out there. It's not real, obviously not.
I just love that comment, like, looks like I've landed on Christian conspiracy TikTok.
Even the Christians are like, this is too much.
Yeah, this is weird shit.
Well, thanks for listening to our mini-sode. I hope you have a wonderful time, and we'll be back next week with a full-length episode.
And if you have met Nephilim or are Nephilim yourself, please reach out. We will.
Yeah, if you're a Nephilim, we'd love to hear from you. Please like and subscribe.
Bye.